Alright, good morning, Melissa. I wanted to reach out to you and provide you with a little audio feedback on your financial statements, especially as you go into working on them today with Taylor or by yourself. So I think there's going to be a couple of things. We'll go through these just page by page. As you start to look up your startup expenses and startup assets, the main difference is going to be expenses are things that you have not yet paid for, and assets are things that you currently have, right? So you're right on top of it when it comes to equipment and cash on hand and raw materials. So that makes a lot of sense for me. Now my guess is when we look at some of these other things, there's probably going to be more up here, but we would probably have to take a deeper look into this before we really could put specific numbers to any of these. But I mean, anyway, that's a good start. So I don't see any big issues there. Now when we come over to our sales sheet, let me minimize this just a little bit. Hold on 1 second. So we can look at it all on one page. So when we start to look at this, we've already talked about how we think that we can get 120,000 in total sales, and that's based upon what competitors are doing in the marketplace, and not only competitors, but people that we actually view as close competition to us. So that's a definite benefit for us. Now, when we look at this, right, we do have some seasonality built into this, so 50, 150, 250, and then you've been able to go through these as well. So I think that a lot of this does make sense for us. Now what I would say is as you start going through this, remember this 9,000 is at 7.5% of what the total sales were. And so we've been able to work backwards through there. So as you go and you start to kind of piece all of this together, it looks like you've already done a lion's share of the work with this, working backwards to get to where these sales actually are and where we wanted them to be. So the only other thing that I would say on this sheet that I want you to do is run this price across, so 20, right? And then if we do that, we will be able to get a very clear-cut picture of not only what it looks like from a unit sale, but also total dollar sales as well. So that's going to be a positive for us too. Now, I know you had a question about adding things in, so I'll get to that on the next one. But just remember, we have our 4 here, I think it was. We're going to be able to need to add strawberry and cookies and cream cup on the next page as well. So what we do with that is we come over to income statement, right-click on the row that we want to, and we're just going to insert, insert. So we have pumpkin roll, strawberry roll. What else do we have? Go up and look at this. Pumpkin roll, strawberry roll, cookies and cream roll, banana, strawberry cup. Okay. So let's go CC roll. Then banana cup, strawberry. Then C and C. Okay. We can actually get rid of one of these. We'll be alright there. So then all we're doing at this point in time, Melissa, is we're coming over to sales, and we're saying we didn't have any sales, so we're going to have 0, 0, 4,800, 4,200. So we go 0, 0, 4,800, 4,200. And then we start bringing these numbers over from that previous page. Alright, let me do one thing here, just for my own purposes. Alright. Then with strawberry roll, what we can do is we can go equals, come back to sales, click on that one, and then when we do that, we highlight the little corner, we can drag it across, and we have 1,000 there. Now the important part is when we do that, whenever we make updates here, so look, we're going to go $20 here, and we're going to carry that $20 across. What's going to happen in the income statement? is that number is going to come across right there too. So again, cookies and cream roll, 2,300. Good. Get that little cross right there. Bring it across. Okay. So we've been able to get a little bit of that done, no problem. Now what we're going to come down here is we're going to do our variable cost on each one of these. So let me go ahead and get one thing in here. Just do the same thing. Alright. And then when we look at this, we're going to say pumpkin roll. Okay. Well, what is our variable cost of a pumpkin roll? So I don't remember what it was. Let's just say it's $2, right? $2 times, and then we're going to come back here and we're going to go 0. No, we didn't produce any, so we don't have any cost of goods sold. Same thing for quarter 2, but when we get to quarter 3 and quarter 4, we're going to see that yes, it's 800 and yes, it's 700 in variable cost. And what we're looking for here is that's going to be our total cost of goods sold. Now, I know it's not $2, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to email this back to you. And when you come in here, you're going to put in here, instead of that 2, you're going to change it to $1.50 or whatever else it is. And then when we make that change, we drag it across and we'll have that difference in there as well. So we're going to bring all of our sales sheets over. We're going to bring our cost of goods sold that we got from variable cost and break even over. And we're going to fill in both of those areas right there. And that will get us to our gross profit. Now, when we come down here and we start looking at operating expenses and general administrative expenses, you already have this information and it came from your startup sheet, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, whatever our advertising expense was, I think you said $200. Maybe we're going 50 per quarter. Maybe we're going 100 per quarter. So we're just going to hit 100, 100, 100, 100. And we start tallying all of this. Now you should be tracking your gas mileage, and if we're going to put a dollar cost to that, then we can add that in here. If we're just going to use it for tax purposes and tracking and writing it off at the end of the year, you don't have to worry about it here. If you're paying yourself a salary, which I know you guys take a monthly draw, then put something in here, right? Put $1,000 for 3 months. This would be $3,000. And you can run that out throughout the year as well. Now, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. That's just kind of a way to get you some momentum going. All right. We didn't have any insurance that I noticed. We probably will at some point. Didn't have any rent. If we were paying ourselves utilities as part of the Barnett family household, then we can put that in here. And once you start to build this from your previous work, right, and you can use 2231, you can use Reference USA, you can use your startup sheet, you can use any of the previous information that you got through here. But what we're doing is we're starting to fill this information in, okay? I feel like that's a good explanation about where we're trying to get to with this. Now what's going to happen next is we're going to come back to cash flow. And this is going to be the last sheet that I run through with you today. So when we look at cash flow, I want you to do a couple of things. You're bringing $2,000 to it, $2,000. Okay. Cash in from operations in quarter 1. Well, we already have this information, right? It is sales. So go back to sales, and we're going to say equals. Back to our sales chart. And in quarter 1, it's 20,300. So we get that number coming in here. Now, when we come from cash out from operations, we got to do a couple things. We're going to hit equals, and we're going to come back to our income statement. And once we get all that information, we're going to go total cost of goods sold plus total operating expenses plus whatever you paid in taxes. Hit return, and it's going to calculate that number out for you really easily. So again, all we need to do is drag this number over. Drag this number over. And whenever you change something in a previous sheet, it will impact what you do in this one as well. Now, cash from investing, you don't have any equity investors at this point in time. You don't need to worry about it. You're not buying any large pieces of equipment from cash right now, so you don't need to worry about it. When you come down here to cash and financing, if you took out a loan to get the business going, then that number would go in here. And whatever that monthly loan payment would be filled in here. And you can see we start with 2. We end the first quarter with 19,150. We start the second quarter with 19,150. Run everything through. We end up with 22,825. And so we start to see this pattern of how we generate cash throughout the year. So that's my pitch for you. That's my help for you on this Saturday morning. Watch this a couple times. Pause it. Go back to yours. I will email you back the financial statements so that you have exactly what I was working on here. And then I will provide the link to this video inside of that email as well. Melissa, have a great Saturday. We'll see you on Tuesday. And yeah, send me any questions you have. Bye-bye.